Mike Muncey from Noel Jones Whitehorse, and welcome to the Nunawading market update for the start of 2026. So we saw the highest sale achieved so far for the year being in Nicholson Street, a lovely character home selling for $2.4 million. And with the entry point to our suburb being $322,000 being an apartment sale on Springvale Road, really close to the Nunawading train station. The median sale price is just a touch over $1.2 million, and we feel Nunawading's been one of the more resilient suburbs throughout the city of Whitehorse. The sales volume is also roughly 15% lower year on year, which is having a positive impact on prices, with 113 sales so far in the 6 months of this year versus 130 sales last year. So moving on to some notable sales, we had a sale at 1 Lemon Grove in Nunawading, a really nice central part of the suburb that sold with some strong competition on auction day, selling for $915,500. Two really strong bidders on the day, single level, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. Hard to find properties like that. Moving on to some strange sale prices again, 14 Cypress Avenue sold for $1,004,500. The best $500 that buyer has ever spent buying a wonderfully maintained corner block with 3 bedrooms and 1 bathrooms and a wonderful contemporary finish on that particular home. And 15 Lassiandra Avenue in Nunawading, a really wonderful single level 4 and a study home on a full block close to Brentford Shops, selling for $1,451,000 on auction day. Because we're clearly in a market transition period right now, where we believe the relationship between a property owner and their agent, the collaboration, the trust, the advice, and the strategy has arguably never mattered more. In times where markets are shifting and policy is changing, there is more noise than ever to cut through. And simply behind every property decision is a person trying to build a better future for their family or their retirement or the life they're working towards. And that's why we show up as your local estate agents. That's what I want to talk to you about for the next few minutes, about where the market is, what it means for you, and where we think it's heading. Starting with interest rates, they've risen 3 times since late 2025. With a recent hold with the RBA, there are 4 more meetings left in the year, the next one being in August. The RBA are closely watching 2 things. Firstly, the inflation band of 2 to 3%, which the federal budget predicted will be sitting around 5% this year before dropping back to 2.5% in subsequent years. In practical terms, the interest rates directly affect the serviceability portion of our market, which is what people can borrow and what it costs for them to repay the money. And with recent budget changes, any negative gearing benefits that have moved out of serviceability calculations for investor loans is a shift worth understanding. The headline snapshot across Melbourne is simply this: there is slightly more property for sale than this time last year, but the noticeable shift is the volume of sales has actually reduced somewhere between 10 and 15% depending on the suburb and municipality, particularly in the city of Whitehorse. Auction clearance rates are still decent, but it's worth understanding what this number actually measures, as it's really only a snapshot of unconditional buyers purchasing above a reserve price within 28 days on market. Now, given auctions aren't the majority of sales in Melbourne overall, it's not necessarily the best overall market sentiment. SQM research figures now show that approximately 20% of all listings available in Metro Melbourne have actually been on the market for over 6 months. Now, this reflects the experience that we've had in the field as well. However, well-presented, well-priced, and well-marketed homes are disproportionately attracting the best interest and the best buyers, and ultimately the best prices. The new listing pipeline across winter is looking a little softer as potential sellers are evaluating the conditions, and that's actually really good for prices right now. There's also the announcement of changes to the auction system and the Real Estate Rules, or the Sale of Land Act, in the period ahead of the state election, which is coming in November, which lands us right in the middle of our spring market. On the supply side, within municipalities across Melbourne's east, and in particular the city of Whitehorse, the pipeline of approved plans and permits has actually never been higher. The hold-up has been typically the business case and the construction costs, and any delays are making it difficult to simply get property out of the ground. But here's the big picture though. Melbourne is currently the most affordable capital city in the country, and it is going to attract more and more attention from investors searching for yield and cash flow, and we're already seeing that reflected in the rental prices, which are rising significantly. And the family home is also holding its value because of its scarcity. Vacancy rates across Melbourne's east remain extremely tight, and that is not changing anytime soon. So if you own existing property in Melbourne right now, you are holding a superior tax position to any new investor entering the market in a city with rising rents and with low supply coming through the chain at what we believe is the bottom of the property clock. And that is a genuinely strong position to be in. To summarize all the changes that have taken place, and we can't cover them all on this one video, since the start of the year, we've seen a generational change to negative gearing and capital gains tax. Now, we've got a comprehensive budget analysis available if you'd like to reach out directly. Coming at the end of the year is the change to the auction rules, proposed changes to the Sale of Land Act. Coming later this year and next year are changes to the property management minimum standards, rental lease periods, and also the bond transfers. So if you've got any questions specifically around that, we can talk to you offline. So where does that leave us? So we're not here to predict the future, and what we will say is this: Melbourne's eastern suburbs are one of the most stable, established, and sophisticated property markets in the country, and it has been for decades, and we are absolutely confident it will remain that way well into the future. Chronic undersupply, strong rental demand, and a long infrastructure pipeline, as we have just covered. If you own existing property here, you are holding a superior tax advantage to any new investor entering the market today. So if you're thinking about selling, reviewing your portfolio, considering your next move, don't wait until spring. Come and have that chat and that conversation with us. We'd love to talk to you.